So today I want to talk about what I consider the most efficient use of video production for businesses that are maybe just getting started out and haven't developed a library of content, or even businesses that are established and maybe haven't put a lot of focus on this particular type of video. This type of video is going to get you the best return on investment, such a low barrier to entry, and such a potential upside that it's silly if you're really not putting a lot of focus in towards creating this style of video in your marketing assets. And if you're new here, my name is Adam Sewell. I've been running my own production studio for over 10 years now. We've grown from zero to multiple seven figures per year. We've worked with a lot of global brands and on campaigns that have had multi-million-dollar investments and stuff that you've probably seen on TV or online if you consume any type of content. And the only reason I tell you that is just to give you an idea of my perspective and experience so that you understand where I'm speaking from and my point of view. So to dive into it, I've had a little bit of a hard time kind of articulating the value of this type of video. And just to kind of, get ahead of it, this type of video is a testimonial video. And you might be thinking, of course, that's so simple. That's a very obvious take. Everyone's doing those. That might be true, but they're not all the same. There's one testimonial that will blend in with the masses, and then there's another type of testimonial video that will really trigger an emotional connection with your audience. And these are the ones that we're talking about today. And the story, I just want to tell a quick story. So it was just yesterday. I was on a call with the CMO of a financial marketing group. And when I say financial marketing group, I mean they have a roster of 10,000 clients who are independent investors, independent advisors, financial advisors. And they have 10,000 of them. They manage all of their marketing, their graphic design, their web design, if they're a certain size, they'll handle their CRMs and all of their back-end stuff. So they have a lot of experience in working with and with a large number of clients. And we were speaking on our discovery call, and he told the story of he was on stage speaking at an event where he is speaking to a room full of advisors and potential customers. And he says his message and found that if he speaks and sends and tells the story of the company and the services they offer, they can expect to see around a 10% conversion rate. So there's 1,000 people in the room, they might get 100 clients. And they learned over time that as they did these events, if he was to sell that message and then be followed up by a current client that would then tell essentially the same story, but from the perspective of the client, that conversion rate would change from 10% to around 40 to 50%. Same story, same content, just a different perspective. And I don't think there's really many other places in marketing where you can invest $1 and see 4, 5, 6x return with such an easy change. He probably didn't even pay this client anything to say these words. It was just a happy client that would be happy to give an endorsement to the company and the services that they provide. And then they get a 400 to 500x, return on their investment from that one change in strategy. It's huge. It's huge. And this is the kind of thing that I've had a hard time articulating. And this story really just kind of gave me a perspective of taking it, maybe offline and showing a more real world example of how the perspective of a client and the story that a client can tell is so much stronger than the story of the actual business themselves. And in marketing, we're always trying our best to tell people about us. Me. This is what we do. This is the services that we offer. It's never about the customer or the client. And the moment that you take a client and you put them in the shoes of the customer and you allow them to do the selling for you, not only does it make your job a lot easier as a marketer or a business leader, it also makes the potential customer, that it frames them in a way that they can receive the message in a way that is more focused to them, because essentially they see themselves in their shoes. And it's not even just theory, it's a neurological reaction. When a testimonial is being said and a customer who is like them is listening to the message, they neurologically receive a message and it chemically changes the way that they perceive that message. It's proven in studies. And this is just something that is fact in marketing. And if you're a business and you're not necessarily implementing customer testimonials in a strategic way, you could be missing a huge opportunity. And I'll go on to say that not only is a well done customer story, um, is it highly impactful, it's extremely versatile as well. It can be used across every stage of your marketing funnel. But this is where we get into the nuance of, there's a customer testimonial and then there's customer testimonials. The ones that I'm talking about are the ones that are far more impactful, far more strategically placed, far more strategically structured, and they can be used at different stages. So you might use a certain segment from one customer testimonial where they're talking about, where things were before they made the purchase or started using the service, whatever it may be. And then there's another section from that same testimonial that might be used towards the bottom of the funnel and talking about their, return on investment and if they would recommend, another customer using them. That's why they're so versatile, and they can be used across so many different platforms at so many different stages of the funnel. One thing that's obvious and should be apparent is, yes, testimonials are fantastic, but they are one part of the marketing funnel. If you're just getting started in video content and you maybe haven't created a library of content that you can use across all channels, I would still recommend starting with testimonials because of the low barrier to entry. You can pick things up and just send an email blast out to your current clients and ask them for a video testimonial. It's basically free. But if you want to get more involved and start building out deliberate ones, say you have, maybe the top 2% of your clients where they have recognizable names or have seen outweighed results on the services that you provide, then you can be a little bit more deliberate. Think about hiring professionals to go out there and capture their story so that you can actually build emotion. There's one thing, someone picking up their phone and recording a video of themselves saying, "You guys did great." There's another thing, sitting down and really structuring questions that will draw out emotion, because essentially in marketing, all we're looking for is some sort of emotional reaction in order to, create a connection with an audience, whether that's funny, whether that's emotional, whatever it may be. We want them to take something away from what they've consumed more than just the actual message itself. We want them to take that emotion and make that emotional connection with your brand. And that's essentially what we're doing with testimonials. And they have the power to do that through real human stories, real human connection, one person speaking to another. And that's why they're so powerful. So testimonials are a great place to start, but they are just a part of your content machine. So think about it like you're building a house. The testimonials might be the front door, right? You don't have a house if you just have the front door. You need the other types of marketing, your product videos, your company overview videos, other things that are going to build your entire content marketing house from the ground up. But testimonials are a great place to start because they're so versatile and because they're so low barrier to entry. And once you start to kind of get a library of testimonials in place that you can use across different platforms, then you can start thinking about the other things. And again, this is more for companies that don't have anything. So what would I do if I was in the place of a company that maybe doesn't have a library of media? That is what I would do. I would start with the testimonials and I would start using them in different ways and testing them out across funnels. You can use them in your ads, you can use them in your promotional, you can use them in your post-sale. Like even in post-sale, they're extremely valuable because a client might share a perspective or how they're using your service or product in their workflow, and then your new customer could draw inspiration from how they're using it. You'll still see HubSpot or CRM platforms do this all the time. Obviously, HubSpot is a big example because they have such a huge product that does so many different things, but they use it all the time. They interview customers and then send them to existing customers because they're using their platform in a unique way and getting insane results from doing that. This is, again, something that you can use testimonials for. If you're just getting started out, I do have, and I don't want to shameless plug, I guess, but I have a $27 program, which is just insane value. It's called Testimonial Champion, and it's a really good place to start for if you've never done something like this. You can start from zero and build your way up to something. I'll walk you through in 4 chapters about how you can start and develop a testimonial library that will really give you a great foundation for your marketing content. And again, it's extremely low barrier to entry so that you can start like this week if you really wanted to move through that course. I'll link it below, and feel free to check it out. Obviously, no pressure. So I'll end this by saying, again, this is not scripted or anything. I just wanted to kind of turn the camera on and start talking about this because I do feel like it's an extremely underutilized video, underutilized type of video where you can get an outsized return on your investment. We live in a world now where everyone is expectant to have a library of some sort of like social proof or customer story. Those usually come in the form of Amazon reviews or Google reviews or whatever it may be. But we are getting to the precipice of written testimonials or written reviews where those are, now the bare minimum of what customers expect. People want to hear from people, and with the bots out there and the fake reviews, people are kind of, they're teetering on the verge of not trusting written reviews anymore, just because they're so easy to fake, and you can't fake video testimonials, and that's the beauty of them. And if, kind of going off script here, but if an AI bot or something was to create a video testimonial and they got found out or they got called out for it, you're done. You're done. There is no coming back from putting out a fake video testimonial. And this is the thing we want to avoid. We want to create a real human connection with our customers, to our future customers. And this is how we do it. We do it by creating videos and telling real stories. So I'll summarize by saying written testimonials are a thing of the past. They're still good to have, but they're the minimum. Video testimonials are going to be the way to go. Giving someone just freedom to tell a story using their phone is one thing. Allowing yourself to have an interaction with your customers on a human level and to create a story that is emotionally compelling is the way to do it, and is the way that you're going to see an outsized return. There's a reason that guy on stage that came on after the financial marketing guy was able to 4 or 5x their return. And that's because it's a person in a room speaking to a lot of other people in the same room, which is crazy to say these days. And they were able to create that emotional connection between each other, and the trust was at an all-time high. You're not always going to be able to sit in the room with 1,000 people that you could potentially sell to. But what you can do is talk to the thousands of people who are potentially your customers online and create an emotional connection with them, one to many. And that's it. So essentially, that's all I've got to say today. Customer testimonials are the most efficient way of getting your start in video production. And if you already have started in video production, they are still the most efficient way of getting exponential gains on your performance of your marketing assets. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Free school community is linked below. Again, Testimonial Champion, the program as well, is linked below. If you're interested, give it a click, give it a watch. And yeah, that's it for today. Cheers.